So for anyone hoping for a big unveil at Apple's Chicago event, you guys must be let down right now. But don't worry, we got one semi-new thing, the all-new iPad. Alright, so Apple introduced the world to the all-new iPad starting at the same price as the former, at $329.99. So that price I listed earlier is for regular consumers like you and me. There is a reduced price of $299.99, so basically $300, for the classrooms and for education. That lowered price point is supposed to help Apple push into the classroom that's already dominated by Google, but we'll see what happens a couple years down the road. So this iPad comes with a newer A10 Fusion chip to replace the former's A9 chip. This is supposed to future-proof the iPad a little more and give it a little more oomph for dealing with the augmented reality. In the presentation itself, Apple pushed heavily about augmented reality, about dissecting a frog, and overall, ever since the iPhone 7 Plus, they've really been pushing augmented reality in general, boasting that they're the largest AR marketplace out there. Speakers in the same place as usual, on the bottom, firing outwards, so no stereo sound. There's going to be no bells and whistles in this iPad. This was probably done to help keep prices low. And not to bore you with the same old, one of the few new things that this iPad does get is Apple Pencil support. And if you really think about it, but not too hard, the Apple Pencil is going to cost about 1/3 of the iPad itself. A $300 iPad and a $99 stylus, forget about it. That's why Logitech announced at the same time that they're going to be releasing an iPad-centric stylus called the Crayon. So you have your pencil and your crayon. Belkin next year is probably going to release the all-new Apple highlighter. Before I forget, the Logitech Crayon comes at $49.99, so about half the price of a pencil. But one thing that's a little disappointing to me is that Apple skimped out on having a fully laminated display. This kind of kills the immersion of the screen, but if you're really pushing this to be the cheap iPad alternative as well as be an education set, I can kind of understand. Also, something I was resoundingly disappointed in was the lack of a smart connector on the thing. So if you're going to be pushing this as a education piece, it would have made sense to have a smart connector on it so you can easily connect a keyboard to your iPad. I don't know what Apple was thinking about, but to me it just makes a lot of sense to be able to type on your iPad at a quick rate, because I'm light years faster on a physical keyboard than I am on a touchscreen. And when you scale that to a classroom of 30 or more kids, it's just going to be a mess pairing and connecting all the Bluetooth keyboards. The smart connector would have made it quick and easy. I mean, probably overall, it's a smart strategy to push into the classroom. Think of it like a drug dealer. If you can get more younger people hooked to your device, they're most likely going to want to use iOS in the future. Get people used to your iPad, they'll probably get an iPad Pro in the future for college or for high school. And ideally, and this is Apple's bread and butter here, the iPhone, if they're used to iOS, they might pressure their parents for an iPhone when it's time to get a new phone. Because people are pretty simple, I'm willing to admit that. You're going to want to use what you're already used to. Also, it's important to keep in mind just how competitive the education landscape is. Just the day before the Chicago event, Acer announced the all-new Chromebook Tab 10 running Chrome OS. This is the first tablet that's going to be running Chrome OS. The pricing for the Tab 10 is the same $329, so that puts it right in the same foothold as the iPad. But overall, it seems like it could be a cheaper bargain since the educational apps are cheaper or outright free, and Google only sells the managerial apps for network administration. For the iPads, all of those are going to cost some kind of money. So even if you get the iPad at $299, you're going to have to pay upfront for the applications and a way to administer all of them. Whether or not this renewed push from both sides translates to hard sales in the future, we'll just have to wait and see. So that's the new iPad. More of the same, with a little bit of new sprinkled on top. Not enough to really wow my feathers, but what I really think Apple missed the mark on was adding a smart connector and maybe a more competitive pricing for education institutions. $299 still feels kind of steep for me when you have to buy in bulk, but maybe $279 or $289 would just sound a little better when you're making that final order. Thanks for watching What the Tech. If you liked the video, don't forget to give a like. And if you want to see more stuff like this, don't forget to sub down below. Go ahead and share what you think about the new iPad in the comments down below, and whether or not you think this renewed push in the education place is a smart idea for Apple or not. Google already has a commanding lead, and I don't think Apple's going to be chipping away at that anytime soon unless they get more aggressive with pricing. All right, see you in the next one. Peace.